Hey, Digital Business Evolution, welcome back to the show. Today we've got a quick, powerful episode for you. So this is going to be a bit of a mindset shift or a perspective shift. I'm going to give it to you straight right now. I'm going to drop a mantra. I'm going to say something that I would love for you to borrow and adopt if necessary. So here it goes. It can feel really big, but it doesn't need to feel heavy. This is a mantra that the team and I adopted at the beginning of the year, but over the last 12 weeks, we were in an insane 12-week sprint. When I tell you that we were in an insane 12-week sprint, I am talking flying back and forth across the country multiple times, hosting multiple retreats, attending multiple retreats. We were launching new products and programs. We were launching old products and programs. We did our famous Digital Business Evolution live experience in a studio, live studio for the first time. How is it that something could be big but not be heavy? What does that even mean? Well, I have no idea where we came up with it. I'm not going to take credit for it, but I do remember saying it first. I said it on a team meeting because I could tell a couple weeks back, probably about 3 months ago, we were talking about all of the things we had coming down the pipeline. It was sort of like when you're at the beginning of a really dark tunnel and you know that you're about to go into something unknown. You're about to go into something that's going to be a little crazy, uncomfortable, dark, cold, rainy, wet, moist. You know that there's going to be light at the end and you're eventually going to get through it, but you also know that your time inside of it is like head down, focused, got to get to the other side. So here we were a week out from like this insane 12-week sprint where it wasn't just Mike and I traveling, it was the whole team traveling. Like we just had so much going on and we knew we were approaching this season of it's going to be head down, we're going to be all firing on all cylinders. And in our business, we're very much a startup culture. It's like, I don't care what day you work as long as you get the work done. However, we were approaching a season where it was like all hands are going to be on deck for the next 12 weeks. We all knew we were going to be putting in extra hours and we all sort of just needed to be available at any given moment. And that's just how it goes. And then we are in a slower season after that, right? And so there's like a little bit of give and pull. There's that duality of the up and the down and the push and the pull and the give and the take and all of that. And so we were approaching this season and I could feel on the call that we all started to get like a little tense where it was going to be big. It was going to be big. We had a lot going on. And I think those words were even coming out of our mouths as we were looking at our Monday boards. We use monday.com for project management. And it was like, whoa, wow. Okay, we have a lot going on. There's a lot of pots on the stove. There's a lot of balls that could get dropped, whatever the analogy is that you want. And I just interjected and I said, all right, team, here's the deal. I can feel where this is going already for me. So I have an idea where it's going for you. And I'm the leader of the team. So it's really important for me to hold the vision to sort of keep us at neutral. I said, what if we approach this season and this upcoming launch we're preparing for as it could be really big, but it doesn't have to be heavy. And they all kind of looked at me like, I get it, but I don't get it. Like, what do you mean? And I said, it can be big. We have a lot of things going on. We run ads. We're doing this in a studio when it comes to the launch. We've got travel. We do affiliates when it comes to our launch. We're hosting new masterclasses. We're bringing back old programs. We have this retreat. We're doing that retreat. We have to book the travel for the next retreat. Like it can be big. There's a lot of tentacles to this octopus right now. There's more than 8. I said, but it being heavy, feeling hard, us feeling resistance to show up, sluggish, us not taking care of ourselves, us not putting ourselves first, things that have happened in the past, we don't have to make it feel heavy. And so when we're approaching, and gosh, I'm just going to talk about launching for a second because I work with all of our clients that do launching, so thousands of clients, where sometimes people have what they call PTLD, post-traumatic launch disorder. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. It's kind of like a joke in the industry, right? And so people will go through launches and then they'll say that like, oh my gosh, that was so hard, or that was so heavy, or I'm so exhausted, I'm so burnt out. And they carry that and they take that to the next launch. And that's the energy and the expectation that they have. And remember, your expectations will equal the experience that you have. And so what I was doing is I was nipping it in the bud right away. And I wanted to change our expectation of how crazy busy this season was going to be. Because the reality of it was we all planned it. Like we all decided, we said yes to the different projects. We said yes to the different travel. Everybody was a part of it. And we all knew that this is what we wanted ultimately to reach where we wanted to go, to hold true to the vision, to be in line with our mission. And so for a season, it was going to be really, really big. But I said it doesn't have to feel heavy. And so we adopted this mantra of it could be big, but it doesn't have to be heavy. And for us, that meant the lightness and the heaviness, the weight of what it is that you're doing, the decisions that you're making, the relationships that you're having, the conversation that you're having, the weight of it is in your control. And so we adopted this sort of mantra. And for the last 3 months, we have truly embodied this mantra over and over and over. There's 4 of us on our executive leadership team. team, and we have said it, and we have pointed it out, and we have reminded each other time and time again. And I've been saying it to my clients, and every single time I do, it's like this weight gets lifted off of their shoulders. And so of course, I want to share it with you. What if something in your life, something in your business, in your relationship, it truly could be big? Like, that's the reality of it. It's a big decision. Should you leave your job? Should you move across the country? Should you retire your spouse? It could feel big. This conversation's going to be uncomfortable. This could hurt this person's feelings. It could change the relationship. The project could feel big. We're redoing our house. I'm getting my kid into preschool. My parent is sick. It could feel big, but the weight of it is in your control. So how heavy are you going to allow it to be? And so when I wanted to bring this concept to you, I really just wanted to talk it through, because that's all I need to say. I don't really need to break it down any further. The weight is up to you. And so can you take this mantra and can you insert it into your life and business? Where in your life and business can you insert this mantra? It can feel big, but does it have to feel heavy? Or are you making it feel heavy because of past experiences that you've had? Let's break that down. We're meaning-making machines. I've talked about this a million times. And we look for meaning. If we don't understand something, or something is unfamiliar, it's new, we haven't been here before, this tunnel is new, we haven't been here, we grasp on for something that is familiar. Because like Joe Dispenza teaches, our familiar past will sooner or later be our predictable future. Now, that means that if you don't change anything, you don't change anything. Nothing changes if nothing changes. The late, great Wayne Dyer said that, right? When you don't know something, when you haven't done it, been there, seen it, had it, we look in our brain for the known. Because when we can grasp onto the known, it feels like a raft. Now I have a picture of the Titanic, and I'm Rose on the door, and Jack is in the water, right? We grasp on for the door. We grasp on for the floating piece of something to resemble something we're familiar with. And so when you're in a hard season, when you're in a big season, when you're in a season of uncertainty, your ego and brain naturally is going to grab for that door. I'm going to look for the familiar past, and I'm going to hold on to that because I understand the meaning of that. And so when you're talking like a launch and you're stepping into the unknown, you have no idea how many people are going to show up or enroll, or what it's going to feel like, or what's changed, or is your new messaging going to work? It's very quick for us. It's very easy for us and very comfortable for us to grasp on to what we know from the past. And what we know from the past for a lot of us might be, okay, well, this is going to be hard. Last time it was exhausting. I had to put in a lot of hours. It could be anything. The last time I had a conversation like this, I felt rejected. I felt bad. We got into a fight. It ruined the relationship. So we look for the familiar and we grab onto it. The problem lies when we take that familiar past and we bring it into our future that we have not yet created. So we take the evidence of what we know, what has happened before, and we bring it into the unknown. And then what we end up doing, because we're such magicians, is that we end up creating from that place. And so that is where, and that is why, and that is how we create a lot of the same things again. And you find yourself in this loop, in this pattern, in this hamster wheel. People do it in relationships all the time. It's like, how do I always end up with people that act like this? Why am I always with narcissists? Why am I always with this? Why am I always with that? I always get cheated on. I always, right? Blah, blah, blah. There's definitely a level of you didn't do it, but there's also a pattern that's happening where you're grasping for the known and you're grasping for that thing that seems and feels familiar. To put a bow on it, it could be big. The decision, the conversation, the business, the season, the travel, it could be big, but does it have to feel heavy? Can you allow it to feel light? And that is a choice. Can you allow it to feel playful? Can you find joy in the unknown? Can you find gratitude in the unknown? Because gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. So can you find fun and freedom and play and curiosity in the unknown, rather than dragging your old experience and your old emotions into the unknown of, this used to be hard, this is heavy, that was exhausting, I hate this when, last time this happened, last time that happened, last time isn't this time, so can this time be different? And so I would just love for you to test this out, see how it feels for you. It can be big, but it doesn't have to be heavy. I'd love to know if this was helpful, if this felt like a weight off your shoulders. I would just love to know anything that you've got for me. So as always, it would mean the world if you took a screenshot of this episode, shared it out on social media, tagged me at I am Jessica DeRose. Go ahead and quote it. It could be big, it doesn't need to be heavy. Let me know how that made you feel. Give me some of your biggest takeaways on social media. I would love to know if you'd love to hear more episodes like this, quick, punchy mindset types of shifts, perspective shifts, because if you do, I've got pages and pages and pages of them that I can drop in your lap, in your ear, or on your YouTube. So let me know. And as always, cheers to evolution.